Is up, everybody? This is William Tiller and Patrick Morrison here live in the East Coast Modified Tour, and tonight we are at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in week number 9 of the East Coast Modified Tour. And folks, we came on just a little bit late. We missed those two heat races, but it looks like we have the regular old crew up at the top of Caden Tufts and Jeff Clifton up there, as well as Nathan Bryant. And we saw that finish on Tuesday night, Patrick, between Nathan Bryant and Caden Tufts of .001. So we can only expect nothing but that here tonight.
Yeah, but I'm sure Nathan Bryan, he's already called the next race that he's quite tired of finishing in that second place. He's going to try to go for the win tonight here, Will.
But here we go, folks. We're going to go green flag racing once again here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Let's go green, green, green here in the Martin Sports 90670. As Caden Tufts leads them down into one. He's got Jeff Clifton right on the outside, heading down into the first corner of the race here tonight, folks. We got 70 laps here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and boy, it is quite the field that we're looking at here tonight, Patrick, and all eyes must be set on Caden there, and Nathan had the restarts pinned down the last time we saw these boys go at it on Tuesday night, but it looks like Caden's just getting off to his regular rocket start, as he always does.
Yeah, really a great pull away. I mean, he seems to always have the jump. It's not just, his drive in being able to lead so well, but he does get a great restart on most of these green flags, and then man, he's just able to kind of calm, cool, and collected to cruise to the win because he's got really no one to battle him for at least 3/10 of a second behind him there.
Right as they're cruising around 3 and 4 here, Jeff Clifton is easing on that bumper right here, folks, and they're going down the front stretch here at New Hampshire. Keep an eye on who's going to get this win here tonight. And Patrick, I'm getting all I can of the open wheels here tonight. I watched the Indy 500 earlier. What a race that was. Man, what a first win it was for that guy there to pick up the Indy 500 victory there, holding off some veterans in the sport. And tonight we get even more open-wheeled action here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And I love these machines, Patrick. You get 2 gears in them, fast and faster, as I like to say, but it really showcases driver skill in this league because you have to make sure you time those passes just right. You can't beat and bang these race cars as we see during the Coca-Cola 600 right now. You really have to pinpoint when you're going to get around somebody.
Yeah, and this being a very different track than what they're used to, they do have long straightaways, especially for these open-wheeled modifieds. Normally they're on these short itty-bitty quarter miles where you accelerate for about 3 or 4 seconds and then back into the brake. Here, I mean, you do have to stand into it, and I'm wondering, I think the only place you're going to be able to pass really is on the turns.
Yeah, definitely. As you see, Jeff Clifton's trying to get right there. You've got Nathan Bryant in the 3rd position there, Brad Carpenter in 4th, Jacob Tormund in 5th, John Holliday in 6th, and Edward Marshall is in 7th right there, Patrick. And, so really, who's who of racing here tonight in the East Coast Modified Tour. You got Campbell Delaney down there as well, Liam Atwood. Kind of a smaller field here tonight, folks, but it is a holiday weekend, so it does make sense here. And Edward Marshall, Patrick, he did knock in off the totem pole there just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and he's a tough racer, but he is kind of starting back here in the 7th position. I'm just kind of admiring that paint job he's got rocking on there.
Bringing out all the colors here tonight, Patrick, and I believe the last time he won, he may have won in that paint scheme, so might be his good luck charm here in the modifieds. But taking a look at those lap counts, it looks like Brad Carpenter just laid down, or Jacob Tormund just laid down the fastest time on the track so far.
Yeah, it looks like a 29.7, so that that fastest time there. So yeah, I mean, definitely one to keep out for. But it's anybody's race. After 2 heats or so, these guys have got a good feeling of how they want to get going and work their way up to the front. I believe it looks like, let's see, it looks like Tormund might actually be trying to make some moves up here. I saw him looking on the inside of Brad Carpenter, so yeah, not quite yet, but he's looking.
He's definitely thinking about there, Patrick, and like I said just a little while ago there, you really have to pinpoint your moves here. We saw it just on Tuesday night in the Virtual Racing League. Nathan Bryant, it took him a few stages throughout the race there to figure out Caden's restarts and his cadences, if you will. But once he did, he really put the pressure on Caden there towards the end, and they raced side by side for about 3 or 4 laps there, Patrick. And When it came down to the finish, it was a .001 finish. So keep an eye on that here tonight, folks. Everybody just kind of calculate and strategizing what their best move is throughout the race.
Yeah, no, definitely something to keep an eye out for. You know, I mean, Caden Tufts, he's a tough racer, man. I'm really every week in and week out, but he seems to know exactly what to do. I mean, yeah, as you look at that, little Jeffrey Clifton going ahead and giving him a little rub there on the back. But yeah, he just seems to know where to be. He knows the best line and what he can do to keep that car in one piece and those tires in good shape to keep rocking around this track here, Will. I'm just Caden Tufts, you know, Jeffrey Clifton, and Nathan Bryant. These are really your top three guys to keep an eye on that week in and week out. Just seem to be in the right place at the right time and definitely in the top 5 from what I've seen so far.
And speaking with Caden, we've got to know him very well up here in the 10-4 broadcasting booth. You know, he has a lot of family experience in racing. You know, his dad was a modified champion, or I think it was a late model champion. So a lot of family input in the races throughout here. And he's actually a younger driver here in the simulator, but we're taking an onboard ride with Caden here. And you just watch, you know, he really knows how to handle these race cars. He knows how to handle the restarts. And it's awesome that he can come off the simulator and, you know, ask his family, ask his dad, hey, what should I do with the car? What should I adjust on here? How should I take these corners? Because I'm sure his dad has raced all of these short tracks in his experience racing. So it really comes into play. It really gives Caden that real life advantage when it comes to the simulator.
Yeah, and week in and week out, it's how to capitalize each time. I mean, this track being so much different than what they were used to. I mean, between the Lucas Oil Speedway and things like that. I mean, them having to really kind of contemplate with speed, and now you've got to add a whole lot more braking to get into these turns because they're a little flatter than you would expect. So, yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how long Caden can tough get this one out. You know,
right. Tough it out, if you will.
Yeah, to really get this one out toward the end, because this is going to be a bit of an endurance race here, Will.
It really is, and as far as tracks go, this is actually not technically my home track. A lot of my family's from New Hampshire, and I had the pleasure of going to the New England or the Northeast Motorsports Hall of Fame, which is right outside of this track here, actually right outside the entrance of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And my grandfather has his Daytona 500 trophy in that museum right when you walk in there, so this is definitely a special track for me. It's awesome to be here tonight, but as you mentioned, Patrick, this is going to be an endurance race. You know, they're used to racing really short tracks. You know, the corners are very small, not a lot of passing going on. As you see a pass going on right now here, looks like somebody's making a move for Caden Tufts. Jeffrey Clifton's going to go to the inside here, going down into 3 and 4. Nathan Bryant's going to follow there on the backside. They're side by side right now, folks, going around 3. Jeff Clifton's right on the inside there, trying to get around Caden. He's going to overtake there just a minute. He's putting the pressure on Caden on that outside wall. Crossing the start-finish line, Caden's going to still lead as Jeff's going to head down into the inside, still trying to get around Caden, and they touch just a little bit, and Caden goes up, and no, he saves that thing on the high side. Oh, man, what a save from Caden.
Wow. And yeah, just slightly clipped right on that tire. I'm not quite sure who got into who on that one, but yeah, that was a great save to keep it out of the wall. Great save to keep it out of the wall. Yeah, so it just goes to show you, not just driving, you know, but he's able to, he knows exactly how to handle that car to keep that thing all in one piece.
Wow, what a save it was for Caden there. You saw him and Jeff going side by side there for a few laps, and as I mentioned, folks, to start this broadcast off, these cars are ultra sensitive. You know, you have to make sure you clear somebody before you can make a pass there. And that wasn't anything dirty there, Patrick. It was just Jeff was there and trying to get by him, and there was no room, and just you barely touched the guy, and it sends the guy loose. But awesome job saving that race car.
Yeah, but what also a heartbreaker is that, you know, going from the lead there, and now you're about a second and a half off the lead now. So you're really gonna have to kind of battle your way back up front. He may have to take a more aggressive line to kind of play catch up here. And you know, get back in contention, but that does put, you know, 5 more drivers in front of him to get back up to the lead, and I don't think either one of them is going to want to give up any spots to Caden Tufts.
No, not at all there, as we're watching here, Patrick, and as we're going to hit lap 20 here in just a second. We'll hear from those awesome sponsors here. Jeff Clifton is your race leader right now with Nathan Bryant right behind him. And we'll be right back after this. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, bringing you live action of the East Coast Modified Tour. And Patrick, we have battles ensuing right on the top there, but we want to invite the folks to go check out our title sponsor of the night here, Martin Sports Apparel. Martin Sports Apparel is your one-stop shop for your sim racing and sports apparel needs. Check out their wide variety of sim gloves, hats, t-shirts, and hoodies. Not to mention they do custom work, Patrick. And if you have an opportunity to go check out martinsports906.com, and that's martinsports906.com. You can check out all of their awesome designs. They do everything you can think of: gloves, hats. You want a mug with your team name on it. You want a jersey, all that cool stuff. You can go check out that website, martinsports906. Oh man, and we see contact between Jacob Tormund and Edward Marshall right before the start-finish line here, folks. Oh man, that was a hard impact. We were riding on board, I believe, with Edward Marshall there.
Yes, yeah, we were riding on board with him, and then yeah, it looks like right in front of him kind of got clipped into that wall there. Let's see if we can go ahead and dial up that 10-4 replay.
Yeah, rev that up for the folks at home, Patrick, because that was wild there.
All right. Right here, we're keeping an eye on Edward Marshall there in the 4 car. Let's see what happens when he gets in the 31 here. Yep. Yeah, he never saw him. Yeah, I think the spotter of the 31 might get a talking to after that one. Just kind of folded it up there, so. Dang.
What a crazy impact there, folks. And it's going to bring out the first caution of the night. And while we have that first caution there, we do have a special guest that's willing to join us just for a second under caution here, Patrick. And that is the big dog here in the mods, Caden Tufts. He said he would be willing to speak with us under caution here. Maybe we can get caught up to see what happened in those first 2 heats. And Caden, you were up in the booth with me and Patrick here. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey man, we came on the broadcast just a little bit late there. Take us through the first 2 heats and what you're thinking about tonight's race here at New Hampshire.
It's going to be a tire race, honestly. I didn't really get much practice because we had a lot of issues getting the server up, but we got it now. Made it through qualifying, got the pole, so that's a big deal. We just got a little bit of contact there with Jeff, but that's fine. It's early in the race, still lots of time to make up. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that little contact there, and that's really just the modified racing there. It's just, you can't really beat and bang them, and that was just a very small touch there. It sent you up the track, but boy, we were impressed at your little Tokyo drift session you had going on at the top side there. Saved that thing, man. What do you think your chances are here tonight? I know you got quite the streak going. I think Edward Marshall knocked you off a few weeks ago, but man, you were on quite the hot streak here in the month of May.
All I can really hope for is good finishes. I'm not really worried about wins. I just want to beat Jeff as much as I can, since me and him are going for a points battle right now. So
great.
Yeah.
Awesome, Caden. Well, we'll let you get back to it, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Good luck. That was Caden Tufts there, Patrick. And Caden, like I said, has been having a heck of a month of May there. Has really just laid it down here in the mods. And, his chances of winning, I don't like to pick drivers to win, but he would definitely be my pick.
Yeah, yeah, and just because of consistency is why I would agree with that. I mean, he does come in and week out, and most of the time win. I can't even say just top fives. I mean, I've seen a lot of his vehicle in victory lane, and it's just, uh, as another driver, you've got to be chomping at the bit to get around him. Just to, almost hang your hat up and say, I beat Caden Tufts on the race at New Hampshire or wherever we may be. But man, it's just, he almost seems, the track is not your only adversary here. It seems he is one of those hurdles that you've just got to get over.
Yeah, and you could hear the dejection of Nathan Bryant last week when he thought he had Caden figured out. He had him on the restarts. He thought he, did his homework, if you will. He strategized and just finished .001 away from knocking off Caden there in the Virtual Racing League. And, as much as excited as Nathan was to finish top two or have a shot at Caden, you could almost hear it in his voice of, the deep sigh of, man, I almost had him.
Yeah, but I mean, you're about to almost see a replay of that here, as Nathan Bryant was on the outside and Caden Tufts was on the inside. So you're about to see these two go right back at it here in the first and second position there, Will.
Yes, sir. And we see those pace slides are off of that pace car there, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Bryant's going to lead them to the line with Caden Tufts on the outside. We got Jeff Clifton right there as well. And Brad Carpenter, you cannot miss in that bright green car. But here we go once again, folks. Green, green, green here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And a huge restart out of Nathan Bryant.
Yeah, great jump by Nathan Bryant, and really a great way to be. You want to make sure you get out in front of Caden Tufts here, because he's going to try to dive you into the turn and really kind of put the pressure on. So better to be looking at him, looking out the front without any opposition, and keep him behind you for as long as you can.
Here we go. Nathan Bryant's going to lead them down into threes. Got Caden Tufts right behind him. Got a little loose on the entry of that corner, folks, but he's going to lead them down the front stretch here. Still Caden Tufts right behind him. Jeff Clifton as well. Those three cars are your top three right now. We're taking an onboard ride with Caden Tufts. You see he's trying to inch to that inside, and with these wide banking corners at New Hampshire, and he's going to go to the inside here on the backstretch. Wisely had to file right back in there. You don't want to clip him on the entry of the corner. Man, that's a lot of give and take there, Patrick.
Yeah, and he's going to keep kind of peeking to that inside. That's kind of what Caden Tufts does. Right as you see right there, as he's getting ready to kind of nudge on the inside and try to take away that low line. Now, the only way I think Nathan Bryant's going to be able to hold him off is you got to cut him off, or otherwise he's going to get the line he wants. So Nathan Bryant got his hands full of Caden Tufts on the inside.
They're side by side going down the backstretch right now, folks. Nathan Bryant's now on the high side. Caden Tufts is on the inside. Nathan can't move off that line because Caden's right there on the inside. But Jeff's going to follow Nathan on the outside lane. Try to close him off there, still side by side, heading to the start-finish line here. You got Caden on the inside, Nathan Bryant on the outside, but it's really blocking Nathan there. He's going to try to file back into the inside. Nope, Caden's still right there on the way around too. He's really trying to block him off that inside lane there, Patrick.
Yeah, and a smart move would be is also to watch out for Jeffrey Clifton here, hanging out in that third position. Now, if Caden Tufts can't pass him, Jeffrey Clifton's going to kind of try to slide up to the outside of him and hold him down there at the same time, and actually might be able to get back in front of Caden Tufts. But as I say that, Jeffrey Clifton is kind of filing back there a little bit, and Nathan Bryant still kind of hanging to that outside line, trying to hold him off.
And it's a good strategy here as they're heading down the backstretch here. Caden's still on the inside lane there. And by doing that, Patrick, you're keeping Nathan off that inside lane, which is the preferred lane around New Hampshire here. And it's really diminishing his speed there on the top side. And you see Caden's just about going to clear Nathan there. But here goes Nathan with a big run off of 4. Ooh, I almost saw deja vu of the start-finish line there as they're still side by side here. We're heading around 1 and 2. Nathan Bryant, Caden Tufts. Oh, and they touch! They touch, and it sends Nathan way up the track. He's going to lose a lot of speed there. As you see, Jeff Clifton's going to go around him. Brad Carpenter as well. Going to drop all the way down to about the 4th position there, Patrick, as they head around 3.
Yeah, guess the tires just got a little too hot there on the inside. And that's what will end up happening is you'll kind of glaze those tires. But, oh man, watch Jeffrey Clifton here. Watch with the open wheel. Try not to clip the two of them here all at the same time as you're too wide for the first 2 rows as Jeffrey Clifton goes ahead and passes for the lead. Oh man, it's tough. It's not giving up an inch, but he's definitely trying to hold him there to try to retain his position. Yeah, ride him up in the turn a little bit, and that'll push Caden Tufts where he doesn't want to be as Jeffrey Clifton goes ahead and tries to make that move. Hold him off on the outside.
They're so close.
Yep.
Heading across the start-finish line here, folks. We're on lap 31 here in the Martin Sports 906.70, live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Jeffrey Clifton is now our race leader here. We've had 3 lead changes so far here tonight, folks. 3 different people have led the way here in the Martin Sports 906.70. Jeffrey Clifton and Caden Tufts are now side by side heading to round 3. We saw this battle ensuing to start this race off here, and unfortunately Caden got really loose, but a good way of him climbing back up through the field here as they are still side by side here across the start-finish line heading down into 1.
Yeah, I know we got a couple guys touching back there. I do see some sparks kind of hitting off the track, so I know they're bumping and rubbing. So I we'll see if they can hold this together, because we're going to see a little of what we saw about 5-6 laps ago. You know, somebody might overglaze these tires, get them overheated, and start riding up that track unexpectedly. So I know Caden Tufts, he's battled back from the slight touch earlier in the race, but he's holding off now.
Ooh, and you saw Brad Carpenter get really loose coming off the exit of 4 there right at the start-finish line here. But Jeff Clifton and Caden Tufts are still side by side, and they're getting really close to one another there, Patrick. Maybe we can get an angle from one of those cameras on that race car to see how... There we go. That's a perfect shot there. Riding on board here with Nathan Bryant. We'll take a ride along with him to see this battle ensuing between these two right in front of him. And man, he's going to be licking his chops to see these two battling, because he knows that if one of them gets loose, he might be able to sneak to the inside and get around him.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, a heck of a move there. But yeah, I was also taking a peek there at the...
Oh, it looks like we do have a caution flag out, Patrick. Our second caution of the night here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And it looks like Brad Carpenter might have had some unfortunate incident happen there.
Yeah, I was looking to see if we had anything going on. I noticed he got real close to Nathan Bryant there, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
We'll have to rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay for the folks at home to see what exactly occurred there that brought out that caution.
Yeah, we're going to take a little peek here and see if we see anything.
And as Patrick is revving up that caution there, I do want to thank the wonderful sponsors here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Of course, our title sponsor of the night here at Martin Sports 906, as well as the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast, showing your good friend Jimbo as he tackles everything from football to baseball, basketball to hockey. Man, there's all sorts of things to talk about right now. Hockey's wrapping up, basketball is wrapping up as well. Baseball is getting into the summer season. You get the 2 biggest races of the year and racing going on today, the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. So go check them out at facebook.com/StayTunedSports, as well as on Podbean. Check out Jimbo and the boys over there at Stay Tuned Sports. And Patrick, we'll have to take a look what brought out our second caution of the night there. It looks like Brad Carpenter was involved with that incident.
Yeah, Carpenter will be up in that 12 car. It looks like we might have John Holliday here in the 3. Kind of getting that 9 car turned around. Campbell Delaney.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. And it just gets them kind of turned around and kind of mixed up here.
And there goes, I believe that's Jacob Tormund as well. In that 31 that makes impact with him. Edward Marshall's right there as well in the 4. And you check it out here. Edward's going to do a good job of trying to save that race car.
Yeah.
But Jacob Tormund, man, he is a magnet for trouble, Patrick. It seems like every league that we call, you know, he's one of the fastest cars on the track as far as lap times. He actually just ran his fastest lap time there before that incident. But it just seems as though he always gets caught up in unfortunate incidences throughout the race.
Yeah, and that was kind of a bummer there, but the one I'd like to say, you know, the bummer was Edward Marshall. I mean, he just barely didn't make that wreck. I mean, you saw that left front tire just clip the other one and got him sent around. But yeah, that was kind of a heartbreaker there. But these guys should probably may get tires and then top off on fuel and try to make it here to the end there, Will.
Yeah, we'll check it out here as we see the pace lights are off. as we're about to go green flag racing here once again here at the Martin Sports 90670 live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the East Coast Modified Tour. And Caden Tufts gets that rocket restart we're used to seeing here as he's going to lead the field down into one. Got Nathan Bryant right behind him and Jeff Clifton up there as well as they're rounding around two, heading for the backstretch.
Yeah, really a good run here for the second and third position, as you kind of see a little bit of the backfield there. Guys kind of shuffling up, hopefully not trying to get tangled up in that last mix-up they had there. So hopefully everybody kind of calm it down, kind of take it easy, as we look like Brad Carpenter having to kind of fight for his position here on the outside. As I believe the 9 car of Campbell Delaney, well, one of the guys that caught up in that wreck earlier, is be able to work his way up to the front, up in the 5th position. So yeah, great turn of events. You know, got tangled up in a incident, and then bang, back in the top 5. So way to work his way back up there, Will.
Yes, sir. And Campbell has really come strong here towards the end of this season here in the East Coast Modified Tour. I'll be interested to see what he has in store in the mods next season, or what he does in the Super Late Model Series that Jeff Clifton is putting on there. As you see, Campbell Delaney is working his way up into the top 5 there, as well as Edward Marshall. And Edward Marshall is a winner here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Maybe be overshadowed a little bit from Jeff Clifton, Caden Tufts, Nathan Bryant, those sort of drivers, but definitely a driver to keep an eye out on here tonight, because he was able to tame the beast, if you will, of Caden Tufts just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and then that being a feat in itself, just trying to stay out front and stay clean. But I mean, heck, we're already, I think we're just over. We are over halfway, and we only have 1 caution. So I mean, you can't really bat an eye at that. You know, even nowadays, you know, sometimes you see 2 or 3 before halfway, and then everybody settles down. But you know, no wrecked cars, and we still got a full field out here of all the guys that joined. So yeah, I mean, heck of a race here, Will. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here out of these open wheel modified cars.
Yeah, I love watching these modifieds, Patrick. I wish I had a modified track closer to me here in Florida. I think the closest track to me is about 3.5, 4 hours away. So, but I love seeing them in iRacing, because as I said to start off this broadcast here, it really takes a lot of skills to drive these race cars, Patrick, and I like to compare them to maybe an Indy car, an F1 car. It's that sort of same skill set. You could put it in the top 3 hardest cars to drive in iRacing, in my opinion, just based purely off of what it takes to race these cars. You know, based on the ability to pass, the ability that, you know, you got a stock car engine, open wheeled, you don't really have a big bumper to try to bump somebody out of your way. And we saw it in the finish last on Tuesday night, Patrick. It was the front bar was what the contributing factor was. So it's that close in these race cars that, I mean, you really got to be one heck of a driver to tame these things.
Yeah, I know, and I may have to have a little conversation with Nathan Bryan and see if he extended that bumper maybe, you know, another 3 inches or so, in case he ends up in another tie up with that. But yeah, that was probably the closest finish I've seen. Is there was no clear winner. I mean, we spent a solid probably 5 or 6 minutes during replays, camera angles, to find out exactly who won, and we still weren't sure toward the end. So
No, sir.
yeah, I figure they got to the protest hauler in the booth, and somebody could finally call the winner there toward the end, and Caden Tufts came out on top.
Yes, sir. As we cross the line at lap 41 here, folks, we have a battle ensuing between Caden Tufts and Jeff Clifton up here at the top. We'll go hear from those sponsors once again here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We'll be right back to give you live coverage of the Martin Sports 90670. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back quick, fast, in a hurry because it looks like Jeff Clifton is making a move on Caden Tufts here as they're going around the front stretch here. If Jeff is going to make a move here as they cross the start-finish line here on lap 44. Saw him file right back behind Caden Tufts as they're heading around 1 and 2. Got Nathan Bryant up there as well. Edward Marshall is just off the pace a little bit, but he's got his hands full with Brad Carpenter on the inside of him. We're watching Jeff Clifton and Caden Tufts battling it out here. Jeff's just looking for his hole to try to get around Caden here. Looks like it's the inside lane. It's going to be the preferred lane to get around somebody there, Patrick. But we saw Nathan Bryant, Caden Tufts battling it out there. And what happens is that if you try to get to the inside lane and you're there, it's going to make it tough for the guy on the high side to get back down in that preferred lane.
Yeah, and definitely a heck of a move here. We did listen to Caden Tufts say this is going to be kind of a tire battle here, and I'm interested to see if he's able to hold him off here. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, you kind of see him kind of taking that quick move to the inside there. I'm liking that. Oh man,
he got loose.
Up. Yes,
he got really loose.
Oh boy, and that might just let Nathan Bryant there go ahead and take that inside lane there. Go ahead and move his way back up in the second position as he's going to try almost. Yeah, just not enough corner speed there to get him pulled through as he's got to tuck back in. There we go.
And Nathan got loose there on the exit of 2 as well. So, you know, we spoke to Caden. He doesn't rear view mirror drive or side mirror drive as he explained. But he's got to love what he's seeing behind him with these guys trying to get up to him that are getting loose. Oh, man, Edward Marshall's right there. Brad Carpenter had to check up right on the back bumper there. Big aggressive move out of Edward Marshall in that Ford machine through that big block on Brad Carpenter as they head down into the corner. Now they are fanned out just a little bit. Caden Tufts is building up that lead. It looks like the fastest car on the track just a minute ago there was Edward Marshall there, Patrick. Trying at 2.9783. They're just a tad bit faster than our leader right now with Caden Tufts. So I think the cars behind him, although they are fanned out just a little bit here, they are starting to reel Caden in.
Yeah, and they did make a great move there with Edward Marshall moving up in front of Brad Carpenter there. I'm sure Brad Carpenter wasn't too happy about that. You know, probably got a little pink paint up on that front bumper bar. But yeah, he did make a great move there to the inside, kind of dive bombed it a little bit to get up there, and then the slide move on the way up. It's not over yet. We still got that battle. I'm still curious to see if Nathan Bryant's gonna pull a rabbit out of his hat here and get his way to the front, because Jeff Clifton and Caden Tufts, they're going to be bumping here, and I know these guys are friends, but you know, it is race day with just about 20 laps to go. So yeah, it's I would assume possibly another pit stop here and then back racing as long as, you know, if there's not another caution. But, you know, I've been wrong before here, Will.
Yes, sir. But as we got 20 laps to go here, watching the closing laps here in the Martin Sports 90670, we do want to announce that we have an official partner here at 10-4 Broadcasting, and that is another awesome sponsor here in the East Coast Modified Tour. You've seen the commercial a few times here tonight, and that is the Admin Box. The Admin Box is a hit controller designed specifically to call out iRacing admin controls. It is extremely user-friendly so as to be used while racing and being an administrator simultaneously. It is true plug-and-play USB, folks. You plug that thing right in, you get the thing running on the side. I believe Evan Berg uses one for this league here, and he usually races as well, Patrick, so you can do both at the same time. Just got to have iRacing simulation running in pit or driving mode. Keys are made from rubber and silk screen to their specific iRacing command. The keys are lighted and color will change for functions of ease of use, Patrick. So you can be streaming in a dark room, have no lights on, and that box will be lit up for you to call out those racing controls. Head over to Admin Box. It's 2 X's on the end there, .com, or check out their Discord page at Admin Box. And we got a special coupon code for you folks at home as well. Use coupon code 10-4-box. That's 2 X's on there to get your Admin Box today for only $125. So an awesome discount there, folks. Go check them out again. That's Admin Box with 2 X's.com here. As we're watching Caden Tufts, he's got a lot on his hands right here as we're watching Jeff Clifton trying to get that nose right there as they head towards the start-finish line here, folks, just on the exit of 4. And Jeff is trying to strategize his way around Caden here, Patrick.
Yeah, you kind of see is kind of taking a little, oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, he's kind of being a little conservative, not kind of diving into the turn as hard as Caden Tufts. you don't want to kind of guess at where he's going to be. If you start driving harder than he is, then you're going to rear end him and kind of turn him around. So, but you do see he's entering a little slower. He's got a lot more speed in the middle of that turn. So I think that might just come into play here later on in the round.
Oh, for sure. We saw it on Tuesday night in the Modified League of the Virtual Racing League. We saw Nathan Bryant kind of take his time, and it was kind of like the great white shark. Oh, he makes contact again on the exit of 2, got right up on that back bumper and got Caden really loose.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about, getting that speed middle of that turn. So you kind of saw Caden Tufts, dove it in a little slower out, and Clifton just had a whole lot more speed through the middle and on the outside, and got up into that rear bumper, and those 2 bumper bars locked. So. Yeah, gotta be careful. Gotta try to kind of clean it up a little bit there, but hard racing here, Will.
But you see Nathan Bryant's now right on the back bumper of Jeff Clifton after that little hoo-ha, if you will. They're racing it out now for 2nd place. Brad Carpenter's down to 5th. Edward Marshall is right there in 4th position. Drops down to Miles Morris in 6th. John Holiday in 7th. But folks, those drivers are a little bit off the pace here. About 3 or 4 seconds off this lead pack here. As you see, Brad Carpenter is going to make a move to the inside, heading down into the corner. He's going to overtake Edward Marshall for that 4th position. Edward Marshall is going to go back to the inside there to try to take over Brad as they're going to round the backstretch here. Brad's going to throw a block there just on the backstretch as they head down into 3 and 4.
Yeah, and boy, I was going to say, Brad Carpenter kind of returning the favor there of back to Edward Marshall for the move he made a few laps ago, kind of sliding up in front of him, making him check up. So I think he got a little tired of hanging out there behind him and wants to work his way up toward the front.
Yeah, Brad was caught up early in this race here, and Brad's in one of those names that is just outside of it, like Nathan Bryant, Caden Tufts, Jeff Clifton, just outside of those drivers there. Brad really lays it down in the heats, but always just gets overshadowed by these 3 cars that are ahead of him here. So maybe tonight here at New Hampshire, it's his night to shine, if you will. And I always love seeing that purple and lime green. That's a cool paint scheme for me.
Yeah. Yeah, as we're getting ready to see if Clifton gets ready to dive bomb him here in a second. So he's been working his inside there. I'm trying to see if I can get a good angle. Might try to take it easy there. As you see, look at it, just the tail end of the field there, just trying to work up to him. And now they're going to battle it out for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Take an onboard ride here with Caden Tufts here, watching that rear view mirror, if you will. As you see right there, Patrick, Jeff's trying to find that inside lane there. He rides just a little bit there on the corners, but knows he has to file back in on the backstretch and front stretch. Right here on the corner, he gets a big run to the inside, and he might be coming there, folks. He's thinking about it, if you will, and he follows right back in. He's going to go. No, he's not going to go.
Yeah, as Caden Tufts kind of has to go ahead and slide back up the track, as Clifton definitely thought about sliding up and seeing if he can work the outside line instead. But man, like you were saying, this may be deja vu. It may be Caden Tufts and Jeffrey Clifton up there, and Clifton stuck on the outside. So we'll have to see here, because this is the battle of the race so far, as we got 10 to go.
With 10 laps to go, folks, this is time to go, if you will. I believe Nathan Bryant just waited just a little bit too late to make his move last week to overtake Caden Tufts, but we're looking at it here, folks, with 10 to go. We do want to shout out all of those awesome sponsors, again, that we have here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Definitely the boys over at Martin Sports 906. They do all sorts of iRacing apparel, gloves, hats, t-shirts, and also custom work as well if you want to get your team name on an awesome shirt or jersey. Also, go check out Edwards Racing Setups as well. They're one of our other sponsors here in the East Coast Modified Tour. An awesome Discord page. You can find things about paints. You can find things about leagues. All that awesome stuff on there as well. And our new proud partner here at 10-4 Broadcasting is Admin Box. Definitely go check them out at adminbox.com. Use coupon code 10-4-box for your discount on one of those awesome things. And also, a special shout out to the boys over at Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Go join Jimbo and everybody as they talk about this awesome week of sports that's going on right now across the way. But here we go, folks. We got 8 laps to go here, and Caden Tufts is starting to inch out just a little bit more here.
Yeah, and he's trying to hold out as we're coming down with about 8 to go. So yeah, Jeffrey Clifton working there with Nathan Bryant behind him and Brad Carpenter. I think Brad Carpenter, he's kind of been hanging down there a little bit there, back there in the 4th position. Made that move in front of Edward Marshall but I believe Marshall got a little loose. He's fallen off by about 3 seconds off the lead, so he may be a little bit out of contention to kind of work this way back up. But Brad Carpenter, hanging out in the 4th position, putting a little work on Nathan Bryant.
Here we go. We got a 4-car race to the finish here, folks. We want to appreciate everybody for joining us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. We had a little issue getting on board here tonight, as well as the league did get in their session going as well. So it's a holiday weekend. Everybody's kind of off their game just a little bit, but not these 4 drivers here tonight. They have stuck to one another here all race long. They've built up quite a gap now on Edward Marshall there in the 5th position. So these guys are running a train around this track here tonight at New Hampshire. It's like Caden Tufts is just trying to hold off Jeff Clifton right there, Nathan Bryant as well, and Brad Carpenter. So Patrick, it's really going to be a 4-car race here with 5 to go.
Yeah, I don't want to place bets on this one, but I think Clifton may have something up his sleeve as he's going to go ahead and try and take a look at that inside just one more time.
And they're going to head around the backstretch here. Jeff Clifton is still trying to put that nose to the inside there, Patrick, but we saw it on Tuesday night. If he waits too long, Caden will start throwing those blocks, and it'll just be too little too late for Jeff Clifton as they're heading to the start-finish line here, folks. And we got 4 laps to go here in the Martin Sports 90670 live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and we appreciate everybody joining us here at 10-4 Broadcasting to come here and join us on the open-wheel modifieds. As you are seeing Caden Tufts, Jeffrey Clifton, Nathan Bryant, and Brad Carpenter here in the top 4 of your contenders. As it looks like Brad Carpenter might just be falling off there a little bit. He may, after that aggressive driving earlier, he might be having a little trouble with those tires. So, your top 3 here, all within half a second. So, we're going to have to see if Clifton's got something here. He's got to give it just kind of one more shot here in the last couple of laps. Because Caden knows how to block, and he's seen him do it before if you've tuned in with us at any of our other races. But, the one to beat right now is Caden Tufts rocking out there in the front.
Yes, sir, and throw those 3s up to rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt, because we got 3 laps to go here as Caden Tufts are rounding around turn 3 into 4 here, folks. Jeffrey Clifton still trying to make that move on him as they're going to cross the start-finish line here with 2 laps to go. We'll see right now. We'll keep it live for you folks at home as Jeff Clifton got a big run there, heading down into the corner. Bumps them as they head into the corner, but that's going to lose a lot of speed for Jeff as they're heading around the backstretch here now, folks. As Jeff Clifton's going to try to make a move here. Gets him just a little wiggle on the back bumper there. Really trying to get around him the Kyle Busch way, if you will, as they're heading around 3 and 4.
Yeah, as you see here, Jeffrey Clifton trying to loosen him up, trying to get real close. We'll kind of take a on-board ride with him because I don't think he's checking up as much anymore, kind of diving into these turns. So I think Caden Tufts, he may have to watch. Yep, here it comes. Oh, man.
We got...
try to watch out because, Jeffrey Clifton pushing it hard here, trying to get around him as he's coming up with 1 to go.
Yes, sir, as they're going to go around 3 and 4 here. This is going to go to the white flag here, folks. And you'll see right here as we're taking an onboard ride here, they're going to take the white flag here. Caden Tufts is leading the way, holding off Jeff Clifton right here as they're going to head to 1 to go. This is the Heat Wave Designs white flag as they head down into 1. Caden Tufts is still trying to hold off Jeff Clifton as they're heading around 2 to the backstretch. Ooh, and Caden got loose there on the exit of 2. It's time to go for Jeff Clifton there because you just saw him get loose. He bumps that back bumper there as we might have to zoom out just a little bit there to see Caden Tufts in 3 and 4. Jeff Clifton has now lost a lot of speed around 3 and 4. He's now going to battle on his hands with Nathan Bryant, but it looks like Caden Tufts is going to be the winner here in the Martin Sports 90670 live from New Hampshire.
Wow. Yeah, and you saw, look out.
Whoa.
Drove the wheels off that thing. But yeah, it looked like Jeffrey Clifton trying to get, give Caden Tufts that run into the turn there and really get him out of sorts to see if you can, get him going too fast into the corner, have him ride up and then cut underneath. Kind of Joey Logano, William Byron move there at the Darlington race, kind of give him that nudge and then slide underneath him and then claim it was just a return of the favor, so to speak. But yeah, Caden Tufts, once again, takes another race win. So, man, yeah, you want to talk about a race there right there toward the end of the 3 of them. I thought Nathan Bryant there was going to actually take over Jeff Clifton there at the end.
Yeah, you saw Jeff try to give the back bumper bumps there to try to get around Caden, but it just didn't pay off for him, and it actually opened the door for Nathan to overtake for second position there. So we're watching Caden burn it down there in that modified. Man, what a month of May it has been for Caden. He's going to close out this month, and I'll have to tally it up across the leagues there, Patrick, because I believe I added up correctly. He is won, just a guesstimate here without looking at the statistics, at least 5 or 6 times this month alone. So it has been quite the month for Caden Tufts there.
Yeah, I mean, he's one to beat. I've seen some leagues where they find out somebody's, driving this well in a league like this that, man, they're gonna start putting weight in the car. They're gonna try to slow him down in some way.
Right.
Tell him, hey bud, you got a bounty on your head, or I'm gonna start adding weight, or you're not allowed to qualify. That way he's got to fight through a field of 15, 20 guys. But man, this is he he's got to be careful because, man, pulling out this many wins, that also gets iRacing's dander up, and they start taking
Oh
a
yeah.
peek at you. So I was gonna say, so we should have Nathan Bryan, I think, ready to go. I think you've just about caught up with him.
Yes, sir, but I believe we're going to run a commercial just one more time for the folks at home. We'll be right back for those podium drivers. And here we go, folks. We are back here live in the East Coast Modified Tour. We just saw the completion of the Martin Sports 90670 here live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And folks, again, it was the Caden Tufts show. He picks up, I believe, his 6th or 7th win here in the month of May across all leagues here in the Modified Series. And he did it the hard way here tonight. Patrick had to work his way back up there after getting tangled up with Jeff Clifton. But once again, we saw that speed out of the Modified out of Caden. Yes, sir. And I believe we do have Nathan Bryant on the radio there, Nathan. And this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Nathan, third place tonight in a kind of a smaller field, if you will. It is a holiday weekend, but didn't take away from the action on the track here tonight. Take us through your point of view of tonight's race and that battle we saw there in the last 10 or 15 laps.
Yeah, it was a fun race. It's difficult to pass here, obviously. A lot of drafting. But other than that, I don't really know what could have changed the outcome for that race. Obviously, maybe if Jeff and Caden got into it, that would have worked out in my favor. But I ended up coming home third, so it's whatever.
Yeah, another podium finish for you, sir. You're second in the week here. We're creeping down towards the end of the championship here in East Coast Modified Tour. You also race in the VRL leagues on Tuesday. Just another great showing out of you here tonight. Are you starting to feel that consistency kind of build up in your race car and your racing abilities here as these weeks go on?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I have spurts where I'll do iRacing every single second I can, and then I'll forget about it for months. But lately I've been obviously doing all these leagues, and I mean, I got one win maybe a month ago at Iowa in this league, and then ever since then it's been second and third, so I think it's about time.
Right. You're definitely going to break through here eventually as we're creeping up towards the end of this season, but I see you probably picking up a win also in the virtual racing league as you had Caden Tufts almost accomplished as we see. The folks at home can't see your profile picture on Discord is that .001 finish you had with Caden last week. And Caden wins again here tonight, Nathan, but looked like you did have something for those leaders there at the end, but I think Jeff got Caden just a little bit loose, and when he checked up, he kind of threw the block on you to get around Jeff. Did you feel like maybe if you could have gotten up to Caden, you could have had that a side-by-side finish like we saw on Tuesday?
Um, I'm not sure. I think it would have had to play out a certain way with just people following you at the draft. I know earlier in the race when I was leading or I was behind Jeff, the only way we were able to pass Caden was I followed Jeff right behind. So yeah, and my Discord profile picture is just a reminder. So every time I look at it, it gets me fired up a little bit.
There you go, a little motivation, if you will. A little, what do they say? It's like not the newspaper clippings, but the football players put it up in the locker rooms to get them motivated for the game. But a third place finish here tonight, Nathan, and I think you know the drill here at 10-4 Broadcasting. With a podium finish, you do get that opportunity to shout out anybody that you have sponsoring your race car here tonight. I know you have an awesome racing team on Facebook. If you'd like to shout out them or anybody that you had watching here tonight.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, my Facebook page is Bryant Racing, and that will have anything with our iRacing stuff and our real life car. But my sponsors that stick with me in the real life and in our virtual world here: Thermal Foams, Bison Scaffold, Haynes Supply, McConey Setup Shop, Skyworks, Don's Welding, Buffalo Concrete, Don Adamzak for the awesome paint scheme in real life and on the sim, and my girlfriend and any family or friends that are watching.
Yes, sir. Well, Nathan, an awesome job here tonight. You come home third, but you gave it your all once again here in the modifieds, and can't wait to see what you have in store for us on Tuesday night in the virtual racing league. And I'm sure, like you said, you're definitely going to break through here pretty soon, man. But have a great rest of your night here and have a great weekend.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys on Victory Lane next time.
Yes, sir. Of course. Looking forward to it. That was Nathan Bryant, Patrick, and man, he just really gave it his all once again here tonight. We saw him battling for the lead there for just a short while. Got overtaken by Jeff Clifton there, and like I said to him there, you saw the battle between Jeff Clifton and Caden Tufts there at the top, and once those boys started going at it and getting loose, it really kind of closed the door for Nathan to get around them.
Yeah, and man, just Nathan Bryan did get, was up in the lead there for a little while, but then Caden Tufts and, Jeffrey Clifton got behind him. I think he just got a little loose and couldn't seem to recover there toward the end. But, yeah, like he was saying, I don't really think there was really anything he could have done unless the top two kind of really put each other into the wall. I mean, the more Jeffrey Clifton was battling Tufts, I mean, it was slowing him down a little bit, but then he had to pick and choose which lane, and it makes it that much more difficult of, who do you pick, where do you go, and can you capitalize on the situation?
Yes, sir. And speaking of Jeff Clifton, I believe you are catching up with Jeff down in the pits right now. Hey, Jeff, this is Will and Patrick up here in the 10-4 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Oh, man, how are you?
It could be better. I
Yeah.
mean, I could be talking to you after this. But,
Yeah.
I let one get away from me. I gave him everything I had tonight, but I know for a fact that I was faster than Caden tonight, but I mean he's pretty good at keeping people behind him. He's good with defensive driving, I guess you would call it. But it was good that this track kept us all pretty close together. I think that was probably some of the best racing we've seen in this league so far. And I had quite a bit of fun tonight. But yeah, so I could be better, but it's not like I wrecked out of it again like I did last season.
Yeah, I was going to say, but the last 30, 40 laps, you guys were almost bumper to bumper there. And we did take a couple on-board rides with you, and kind of Caden Tufts looking back of you trying to make that move to the inside. Caden Tufts, had a faster entry, but you had a a faster middle and an exit. And I know that kind of caught up with you there in the last 5 where you bumped the back of Caden, because it looked like you had it to me. But man, were the tires wearing out on you at all?
I wouldn't say they were. They felt pretty good all race long. That one caution there, we all came down. I think it was like lap 30 or something like that. We all came down and got tires and fuel to make sure that we had enough for the end of it. And the car didn't feel different, really. It handled pretty well, and we're happy with that. So, I mean, there's not really much else to say. The car was perfect, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, because we were looking at just lap times and things like that, with the tires or whatever. I mean, I think the worst case scenario, you guys only fell off by about half a second. I think your fastest time was a 29.78, and your the last lap time you had there was a 30.17. So really not that much fall off. It just seemed that battle, you just couldn't make it there to the end. I mean, other than bumping in my eyes, which I like that you were doing right there at the end, kind of letting him know you were there. Is there anything else you could have done to really, get around Caden?
I could have taken it to the inside and raced him side by side there for the last few laps, but I was keeping in mind the cars behind us. I didn't want to put myself in a position where, I could potentially finish outside of the top 3. Caden and I were in a really tight points battle, so I mean, if I can just stay with him or stay in front of him, that's the goal. So, my plan was to just get him on corner entry and try to push him wide, so that he'd wash up into the marbles and get loose, and then try to get under him there. But it didn't work out too well. So, but I mean, second is good. We're happy with second.
All right, and I believe taking a quick look here, I believe North Wilkesboro is your next race. How are you feeling about that one?
Him and I have raced there quite a few times before. I mean, you could probably ask him how it's went. We both we like to beat our cars up. So
yeah.
we'll see what North Wilkesboro brings for us. It's a pretty good track. I like North Wilkesboro. I grew up not too far from North Wilkesboro, so I see what they're doing with the track now, and I'm eager to see if they're going to be successful bringing that track back. I really hope they do, because I think that'd be good for short track racing and just like the areas surrounding North Wilkesboro. So I think that's going to be a good race for us too. In these modifieds, they put on a pretty good race there. It's a really unique track. It has a unique line, so it's going to make drivers think about what they're doing. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that maybe I can get a win there, but top 3, I'm happy with all of those.
Yeah, and as you said, and top 3 is really a great place to be, and you come out finishing in second place, and we'll be happy to see you next week. But right here at the end, as we always do, you want to give any shout-outs to any of your sponsors there?
Absolutely. First of all, we've got Martin Sports, who sponsors the Modified Series, and Admin Box along with them. And I believe Stay Tuned Sports Podcast is also a sponsor of the Modified Series. But we also have the Late Model Series that operates under the East Coast banner. And we have Heatwave Designs, who I believe is also on my Modified. I get all of my stuff from them, and they sponsor the Late Model Series, so I got to shout them out every chance I get. And Admin Box also came on with us for that series, so we have a big thanks to give to them for coming on with us over there as well. And then we've got 10-4 Broadcasting. You guys do the Modified Series and the Late Model Series, so really thankful for that. And we're looking forward to, let's see, Friday night we'll be at, I'd have to look at the schedule. I'm not sure what track we'll be at.
New Smyrna, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, New Smyrna. So we'll be looking forward to that, and I think that's going to be a pretty good race too.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll be excited to see you there, that's for sure.
And that's actually my local track here, Jeff. New Smyrna is about 3.5, 4 hours away from me here in Florida. I've actually never been, so it'd be cool to see it actually in iRacing. Actually, it's a drive to get up there, but it'd definitely be cool to see that track there. And Jeff, I second those sponsors there. Heatwave Designs. We're actually going to name the white flag, the Heatwave Designs white flag across to all of the series that we call here at 10-4 Broadcasting, because they've done us a solid as well. They have all of our awesome logos that fixed up for us. They vectorized everything so you drivers can put them on your race cars, create paint schemes with them, as well as Admin Box is now an official partner with us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. So two awesome companies there, and we couldn't be more happier to work with them both.
Absolutely.
Well, Jeff, we can't wait to see what you have in store for us on Friday night in the late model series, as well as next Sunday here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Coming home second place, but you gave Caden all that he could handle there towards the end, and just want to wish you the great rest of your night and have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Happy Memorial Day.
Yes, sir. You as well. And Patrick, that was Jeff Clifton. Just came up just a little bit short there, but I enjoyed that interview that you had with him there, talking about how he wants to race him clean there. As we're taking an awesome shot, a look at Jeff Clifton went for a little high flying act there after the finish. But I liked how you talked to him about how he wants to race Caden clean there towards the end of the season, because him and Caden really have a tight points battle there leading towards the end.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if that's going to kind of hinder their relationship toward the end. I think in the last two, especially when they're getting places like Wilkesboro and things like that. I mean, you want to race clean, but you want to win at the same time. So one may begin to interfere with the other there, Will.
Yes, sir, but I believe we're catching up once again with my favorite Canadian that I know, the champion of the modifieds here, Caden. And it seems like, I talk to you more than I talk to my family, because this is like an every night, every week sort of thing. We talk to you a lot up here in the booth. You're once again a champion here in the modifieds. You win the Martin Sports 906-70. You're creeping towards the Point Series championship here in the East Coast Modified Tour. You've got 3 wins in 3 races in the Virtual Racing League as well. Man, when does the winning stop for you?
Hopefully never. I always like winning, so always gonna take one for granted. You never know when it could end, so just gotta take every win you can, every chance you get to take one, and yeah.
Gosh, I was just kind of guesstimating here. We're at the 29th here in May, and I'm thinking you've at least won, just a guesstimation, not going back and looking at anything, but at least 6 or 7 times this month across all the leagues. So what do you think it has been here in the month of May that has led to you just winning all of these races across all these different leagues?
I really don't know. I'd say probably a little bit of real life experience is coming in now, because we're back on the real track. We're already 3 races in. That's probably having a huge help on it. Lots of practice. Lots of experience on certain tracks, and that's about it, I think.
Yeah, Caden, and you really had your hands full here tonight once again. Just like on Tuesday night with Nathan and Brian inching up to your bumper there, we saw you and Jeff get tangled up just a little bit early on in the race. I'd say it was about 30, 40 laps to go. We saw you get tangled up. Then we saw you work back through the field once again. Then in the closing stages, I'd say in the last 10 laps or so, Jeff was right on your tail. Did you feel him nudge you a few times? And I think it was the last big bump, he sent you right in the corner with a huge boost.
Yeah, I felt him all race, honestly. I'm not sure if I have a rear nerf prior. I'll have to go back over to the car and check that out. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a front one either, but I mean, that's part of this type of racing, drafting, all that. You're gonna have that. I mean, it was awesome fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. And throughout the race, I was kind of keeping an eye out on the kind of a strategy that you were playing there. When you were making passes, you would go to the high side, or so somebody tried to pass you, or even going to the low side. By going to the low side, you force the leader up to the high side, and you don't allow them to come back down to that preferred line. Is that sort of like your strategy there? If you can inch that nose out, you can keep them high, and it doesn't give them an opportunity to get their line back?
Yeah, that's usually the try I go for, because I know basically in these cars it's a complete different line than you would run in the NASCARs. Usually the NASCAR you'd be right on that wall, but here the preferred line is like middle. It's weird. So yeah, I just really went for the preferred line when I was on the bottom there. But if I seen the leader coming down, I'd start going down to just to make sure we didn't get any contact.
And the champion of the modifieds, Patrick, and I believe you have a question for our favorite Canadian here. I mean, we ask him, we're running out of questions to ask him here, Patrick. I mean, we've gotten why he's so good. We've got his racing experience in real life. We've gotten all of these different takes from him. And man, we need to start asking him his favorite color and his favorite movie here coming up.
Yeah, that we do. But he did bring up an interesting point that, you know, in real life racing, you know, you're getting in the race 3. How does real life racing and sim compare?
I haven't really had much comparison towards the two. I mean, competition wise, you're not having the same guys every week. I mean, unless you're running a league or something, you're gonna have the same guys. Different tracks. You're always at a different track on iRacing. Real life, you're running at your local track. It's not like NASCAR or any of that. The cars, I mean, legend cars, I haven't really had a chance to drive mine yet, so I can't really compare those. But I mean, other than that, it feels pretty real. I really don't know how to compare modifieds because I never had experience in one before, so I don't really know how to compare.
Okay, so I was just wondering if anything like the feedback or, you know, drifting up the track is as realistic as it looks.
Yeah, I mean, I watch modifieds plenty of times in real life and late models and all that. I mean, I'd say it's probably close. My buddy 10, he recently got to drive a pro late model. We call them pro stocks down here.
Yep.
They're pretty much supers, but not really. He said it's pretty close to actually how it is. He raced a legend in real life. He said it's pretty close. So I'd say it's as close as you're gonna get to the real world.
Awesome, yeah, and then for all the viewers out there and the people who are looking to get into iRacing, that's kind of what people are looking for. What they want to know is, you know, do I go out and buy, you know, pedals and a wheel, or do I go get the real thing? And I mean, to me, you can't beat the real thing. But man, this has got to be the next best thing. As Caden Tufts again places in first place. So yeah, great showing tonight, bud. So yeah, you want to go ahead and give us your usual sponsor shout out.
I was going to ask you though, Caden, too, before you do that, as you talked about how you're going to be getting into Legend Cars soon, where can people find or follow you on that series, and where can they find information about how to follow your team?
I don't really have a huge team in real life, so basically just my normal Facebook account. I usually be posting race updates. I'll probably have my own team page here going up soon. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, other than that, it's just all my social media should be just able to search up Caden Tufts and it should automatically pop up.
And before you get to those shout outs and those sponsors as well, I did see some breaking news that happened on Facebook just before this race here that you signed a sponsorship deal with a certain esports company.
Yeah, recently, yesterday we signed with TJ George Esports. That's another huge sponsor I have to thank. Then there's also the other usuals, FSM Motorsports, Bradwan Merges, Timberley Beverage Room, LBT Pallets, A-Rod HVAC, JDM Broadcasting, and you guys for putting this on.
Sir, well, thank you again for winning. I mean, it's congratulations almost every time we do one of these modified races, and Caden, you are definitely. We have another league that we call that a guy has about 6 or 7 wins in that league, and he might break the record for most wins in a season for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. But you are definitely pushing that envelope here towards the end of the season here in the East Coast Modified Tour, and who knows, at the end you might just snatch that record away from him with 6. I mean, you got to be creeping towards 6 or 7 wins here in this series. But big congratulations from us here, and man, we just want to wish you the great rest of your night, and congratulations on another great win. You had to work for this one once again, and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. You guys enjoy your weekend too.
Yes, sir. And that was Caden Tufts, Patrick, the champion once again here. It's not deja vu. No, this is not a Denzel Washington movie here. It's not Groundhog Day with Bill Murray either. This is the same thing that we see week in and week out. He has to work for it sometimes. Sometimes it's easy for him. Patrick can go wire to wire. Sometimes he has to work back through the field. I do remember one race where he was a few laps down and still came back to win the race. He can. I think at this point he could probably park his car for a few laps and still come away with a race victory.
Yeah, he is. He is coming out, but it's good to see that he has, the right mindset when he's racing is to keep what line he needs to take to keep these guys behind him. And I think that's really what Jeffrey Clifton and Nathan Bryant need to maybe get their heads together and see if they can crack this problem here of how can we get around him as unfortunately we follow another week where these two guys have been battling very hard to try to get around him. But I mean, it's always a good challenge every week in and week out. But I would probably have to side with Nathan Bryant there toward the end, as this is starting to get kind of almost agitating, and they're going to push even harder and harder to get past.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. It's just one of those champions or one of those dynasties that you're like, oh man, who's going to be the one that knocks them off? We've seen dynasties before in sports. We saw the Los Angeles Lakers in the early 2000s win 4 or 5 championships. You saw New England Patriots win 6 Super Bowls. I mean, just getting to be that point now. Golden State Warriors are back in the finals again now in basketball. So it's just getting to be that point now where it's like, dang, I just want to knock him off. I don't want him to win anymore, but just the way and looking at that grid there, Patrick, he ran his fastest lap there at the very end. So I mean, if that's the kind of lap speeds that he's putting down here, I think the only race that we saw him struggle just a little bit for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting was the road course, and he even finished in the top 3 in that race. So I mean, it's just wherever you throw Caden in these modifieds, and I'll be interested to see if he gets into any paid leagues or bigger leagues where he can race for real money, because the way he's racing in these fun leagues, quote unquote, it's really impressive week in and week out.
Yeah, and especially trying to get him maybe more like in a heavier car. These late modifieds, they're the lighter ones, and tires are twice as wide, but let's try to skinny the tires up double the weight, and let's see how he can get out there with 35, 40 guys. So I agree. I think the sky's the limit for him at this point here, Will.
Yeah, Patrick. And speaking of heavier cars, we call a certain stock car series the High Octane Sim Series that's going to be starting up their new season June 24th. And we might have to get with Caden about a certain sponsorship, if you will, of maybe sponsoring him in that series and getting him to run a 10-4 broadcasting car just to see what he can do in a heavier race car. But that would be really interested to see, as you mentioned, to get him in a heavier car, because the way he races these modifieds, Jesus, it looks like somebody had a go-kart track.
Yeah, and I'd like to see a little more out of him, each week. Just see what he does when he's more on the back foot. I mean,
Right.
we obviously see him, full tilt on the front, but I would like to see how he handles himself working when he's in the back. And
Yes,
whether it be intentional or not, be able to get, see him, work with a real field of cars that maybe something a little outside of his comfort zone.
of course. And it was really a 4-car race here tonight of Caden Tufts, Jeff Clifton, Nathan Bryant, Brad Carpenter, and Edward Marshall actually slipped outside of the top 5 there. Miles Morris was able to snag that top 5 finish. Had Caleb Delaney coming home 7th. John Holliday finished in 8th. Jacob Tormund in 9th. Liam Atwood in 10th. And we had a few drivers that did not start the race here tonight, folks, but what a race it was once again here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We want to thank those wonderful sponsors that have come on board for us here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Definitely Jimbo and the boys over at Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. If you haven't checked them out, go run over to their Facebook page at Stay Tuned Sports Facebook page, as well as check them out on Podbeam. Our wonderful new sponsors here at Admin Box. We actually have that coupon code for you here in the description of this video. We're using 10-4 box with 2 X's on there. Go head over to adminbox2x's.com for more information about that. Edwards Racing Setups. What a cool Discord page this is to hop over there to find you some new leagues, find you a painter, find you new setups about your race car, whether you're a veteran racer, new racer. There's an awesome place to go check them out. And our wonderful title sponsor here in tonight's event, Martin Sports Apparel. So martinsports906.com. It's the place to go if you're looking for iRacing gloves, jerseys, polos, shirts. They do custom work as well, Patrick, so you can get your team name on all that good stuff on there. Rock it during your broadcast. If you stream on Twitch, maybe you just want a jersey to show off to your friends and say, hey, this is my iRacing team or league, or even a champion shirt. go hit them up at martinsports906.com. And folks, this has been another awesome race for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. And man, we got some more action coming your way here on Tuesday night in the Virtual Racing League. Again, we race modifieds here in that series as well on Tuesday. And I think Caden Tufts is trying to make it 4 for 4 in that league, so definitely tune in to us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. If you've liked the broadcast here tonight, go check us out on Facebook as well. Like us, share us, all that good stuff, as well as on YouTube at 10-4 Broadcasting. On there, go ahead and hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification bell. That way you can be notified each time we go live. But folks, on this Memorial Day weekend, we do want to stress the importance of what this weekend is all about, and it's remembering those fallen heroes that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms here in the United States. As we celebrate this weekend, cook out, hang out with family and all that stuff, just remember those heroes that paid the ultimate price to allow us to do fun things like this here tonight. And for myself, William Tiller, and Patrick Morrison, we want to wish everybody a great